Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Presenter Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Litchfield, and today we have a fascinating topic to dive right into. We'll be discussing the art of interviewing difficult guests on video and learning how to handle them gracefully. I've had a couple and they both will stay with me for life. So whether you're a seasoned interviewer or just starting out, this episode is for you. Let's jump right in. As interviewers, we occasionally encounter difficult guests who may be uncooperative, defensive, or even confrontational. How can we effectively handle these situations while keeping the conversation on track? Well, handling difficult guests requires a delicate balance of preparation, patience, and empathy. The first step is to do your research, do your homework. Understand the guest's background, their expertise, and any potential areas of contention. This will enable you to target questions and demonstrate that you've taken the time to understand things from their perspective. By showing a genuine interest, you can build rapport and establish a foundation of trust. Preparation is key. Well, one important strategy is active listening. It's crucial to listen attentively to your guests' responses and ensure you fully understand things from their point of view before you offer your own. If you notice tension building, take a step back and acknowledge their perspective without becoming defensive yourself. This shows respect for their opinions and fosters a more constructive environment. It's important to stay composed and avoid getting caught up in any potential conflicts that may arise. But how can we redirect the conversation back to its original purpose without shutting down the guest's input? Well, redirecting the conversation can be a delicate task. One effective approach is to use a bridging technique. For example, you can acknowledge the guest's input and then transition by saying, "That's an interesting perspective. Now, let's shift our focus over to blah, blah, blah." This technique allows you to acknowledge things from their point of view without necessarily agreeing with it, and it gently brings the conversation back on track. But how can that help maintain the flow of conversation? What if a guest becomes excessively argumentative or uncooperative? How can we handle such situations without compromising the interview's integrity? Well, it's essential to remain calm and professional even in challenging moments. If a guest becomes overly confrontational, it's crucial not to match their energy or engage in a heated debate. Instead, you can try to diffuse the tension by using neutral language and focusing on finding common ground. Remember, your role as the interviewer is to facilitate a productive dialogue rather than engage in personal conflicts. Remaining composed and neutral is vital. Now, here's some key takeaways or best practices for handling difficult guests during video interviews. 1. Research your guests thoroughly to understand their background and perspective. 2. Practice active listening, giving full attention to their responses and demonstrating empathy. 3. Use a bridging technique to redirect the conversation back to its original purpose without shutting down the guest's input. 4. Stay composed and professional. Avoid personal conflicts or engaging in heated debates. And lastly, 5. Remember that your role is to facilitate a productive dialogue and maintain the interview's integrity. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you found this podcast on handling difficult guests during video interviews both informative and enlightening. Remember, practice, preparation, and patience are key when faced with challenging interviewees. Until next time, stay curious and keep those conversations unscripted.